Welcome to Trade Buzz. I'm Martin. I'm here with Jamie. Today we're going to be talking about customs value reconciliation. So Jamie, what is customs value reconciliation and when do you use it?
So this is a really great program that Customs came up with. When you are admitting your goods into the United States, you have to declare a value, and the value is what helps from a statistics perspective, but it also is what drives the duty and the value that's coming into the United States. So with that in mind, there's a lot of complexities around valuation, especially when you talk about profit margins and taxes and other things that might impact that over time. So basically what Customs allows us to do with Recon is to guess our value. We do our best, to make sure that the value is correct, but by flagging that for the Recon program, then it allows us at 21 months to go back to the government and say, this is what the real value is. And so it's a really helpful program because there can be transfer pricing adjustments, there can be royalties, other post-entry financial charges that might come into play. And this allows you to make a correction on those entries to that value.
Fantastic. So where do companies tend to struggle when it comes to that?
I think the biggest problem they have is that there's a disconnect between all the parties that need to be involved. So you have finance that's involved, you have procurement that's involved, you have accounting that's involved, and then the trade compliance people that are actually doing the brokerage, working with the broker and making the entry transactions. So if they're not all in sync, then the values can be off.
That makes sense. So what does a well-rounded reconciliation program look like?
It's just that, getting together, working with the finance, the procurement, the accounting teams, and having, a council. Many of the companies I worked at previously, and what I've always recommended is having a valuation committee that is founded with all of those individuals that get in the room that can look at what are the IRS valuation components and what are the customs, and they're pretty much in sync, but they're not always. And so making sure that all of those parties are singing from the same song sheet and working together is really important. And then making a standard process and outlining that so that everybody follows that on a regular basis. I've seen many instances where companies are just disconnected, and so they'll make a declaration and then all of a sudden there's an assist that comes along, or there's, at one company I had, there was actually on the labels, there was a royalty that needed to be paid to another company for that label and for the software. That wasn't put into into the declaration of the goods. That increased the value. Therefore, Customs found that out. They had major problems. So if you do that proactively on the front end, it just solves the problems, for later on.
That sounds like it makes a lot more sense. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you, Jamie, for explaining that for everyone, and thank you for joining us on Trade Buzz today.
Well, thank you, and stay vigilant.